Unfortunately.
Just be the Briser. Hang on.
Okay. I do like the live action or the costumes more than CG aliens, though. Even though that some of them aren't that great, I just don't want it to all be CG. I want it to be like some practical effects.
I'm going to swap risers. Hang on.
Hey, Josh. How are you doing? And sorry if I don't notice everybody's comments. I'm multitasking here, and sometimes I don't feel like I'm the best host when it comes to this. Anybody who has done their own live stream, you understand exactly how stressful it can feel, even though, you're amongst friends, but still. So hello to everybody. I see you all there. Sashi, Drew, Lady V, Chris. Okay, you got another one. Nice. There we go.
Got a good audience.
Oh yeah, there's several actually, and then there's some also.
Yeah, I think it was one of the first usage of CG.
Oh.
And it does not look good. The thing is, it was drawn in this.
That's what the final product looked like?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you're right. It's not very good.
No.
Yeah. The story itself was pretty doggone fun, though.
It was.
I remember really enjoying that. Yeah. I agree with that. Hey, Lady V.
Hey.
Hey.
Hey, Joan. Sashi, I've been balding for over 20. Okay, so Sashi, he just went ahead and threw in the towel.
You see, you look intimidating. Now you've shaved it off. That's when you keep that stuff on the sides.
I'm starting to, and it depresses me to no end.
Really?
Yeah.
Have you not tried like anything, or?
I probably just need to drink more water and eat more vegetables. I don't know. That's probably the best. I don't want to do any weird stuff, but the worse it gets, I'm like, what's maybe some of the weird stuff isn't. It's like I never ever thought about it at all, and now I'm always thinking about it. Like,
oh, Arturo started a few years ago. He started noticing, and so he did start. He started taking some medicine, and that they say within X amount of months you'll know if it's going to help you, like 6 months.
Really?
And it did start helping him. So
oh, nice.
Yeah, he'll just continue to do that.
Yeah.
Been around 5 years. Seen. Okay. I don't have our ratties are no longer with us, so we haven't gotten any more lately. Let's see. We've got a couple of people chiming in here with remakes. I'm trying to find. Oh, what do you think about this one, Lawnmower Man?
Yeah.
Maybe for the graphics alone.
I can't even remember that movie very well, but I remember it existing.
Yeah, I remember the graphics weren't so great. Okay. All right. Well, I agree with this, Simon. I kind of have a feeling that pretty much anything that we share, we're probably all going to agree it's deserving of a remake. Yeah. Unless, look, now there'll be war.
Well, there's one that might not be.
Okay. There's going to be war if anyone says Terminator or Terminator 2. Don't even.
I thought about Terminator 3 because,
I could see that. Even though I didn't outright hate it, but I could see that.
Just because of how good the first two, I want the third one to be right alongside the first two in greatness. But
right.
I felt weird to go for a sequel. I don't know. I don't know. There are so many options.
I hear you. Okay. All right. So, Colin, it's your turn.
Okay. So I'm gonna try to hit present and see what that
hit present and
share screen.
Yes.
And then it says share screen.
And pick wherever your picture is.
Oh, I see. Oh, I've never done that. All right. I know this movie sucks, but that's why it needs a remake.
Okay. Oh, here we go. Yeah, it works. Add to stage. Well, Colin.
I know.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
Okay. This movie sucks, right?
You know what? I don't think I ever watched this movie.
Well, it's not that good.
But I heard it had mixed reviews.
I'm not saying it's all bad. I mean, the battle scenes are all right, but it was pretty bad. And Alexander the Great deserves an awesome movie. And I would love a movie that. Okay. Also, I'm doing a thing I could in my own head to make this like to help my own discussion. Instead of using words, I'll tell a director that I want to direct the remake because he gives a better. Instead of all the words I'll use is just an idea, a mood or a tone. I want to take this. So James Cameron, Alexander the Great, because I want this to be like the most epic movie that you see all year. Like, and I want it to be like not just another, big battles like you've seen before with Troy and Kingdom of Heaven and all that stuff, but like a movie that blows you away. It's shot all in 3D. James Cameron goes way over budget. It's got the great cast and the most amazing production, and you go and see it and you're like, oh my God, I was in ancient Greece and Alexander was larger than life and the battles were like, even though he wins, he shoots it in a way where you're like, how could anyone win this battle? And then it's like an amazing fucking action sequence. And then I don't know. I want that. I love historical fiction and feeling like I'm in that time period. And so I would really like something that did that and did it in an epic way, like in James Cameron. So he's kind of like go all out and make it happen in 3D. And yeah, I want to feel like I'm in ancient Greece and I'm in ancient Persia and ancient Egypt, and that I'm like really impressed and almost blown away by who Alexander was and what he did, even though you kind of know the story. I mean, he's got to be one of the most famous people of history, right? And I feel like if anyone to make a biopic or an epic of, I'd like them to do it right. This is another movie I was so excited about, and then it was like so disappointing. So.
What was disappointing about it for you?
It's hard to say. It just felt. I don't think Colin Farrell did a very good job. I don't know how to explain why, but it just. He didn't seem like this invincible hero to me, and a lot of it felt almost like a movie I'd seen before, like just the kind of typical historical epic. Maybe it was a nice production value, but it was kind of like, yeah, I've seen these Greek and Roman epics before, and like it has some nice things about it, but it felt like I was expecting, like I said, all the stuff I was talking about, like a great movie that really raised the envelope and something I'd never seen before. And this movie that I'm talking about really felt like Alexander with Colin Farrell, and I don't know, it just Angelina Jolie's character was kind of weird. There was a lot of unnecessary stuff. Jared Leto as his lover felt like.
Oh, I forgot he was in there.
They spent a little bit extra time on that stuff, and it wasn't really interesting. I mean, there was a few cool scenes, but it felt like it should have been the whole movie. He went to India, and so they showed a little bit of that stuff. And again, the battles, like they're all right, but it wasn't anything like. It just felt like stuff I'd seen before.
Felt generic.
Even at the time, like. My first viewing was just kind of like a letdown. And
Which cut are you talking about?
I only saw the one in the theaters.
Okay, because according to the IMDb, or not IMDb, Wikipedia, there's a theatrical cut, a director's cut, a final unrated cut, and an ultimate cut.
Oh my gosh, are you serious?
I can't imagine any of those improving that much, but I saw the theatrical cut. And I was let down. And it's Alexander like so many people have always been fascinated by Alexander. And also, I love historical fiction, and I would love to see a big James Cameron version of something.
I disagree with James Cameron. If James Cameron gets a hold of it, it'll be Alexander versus Atlantis.
Yes, you just made it.
We have to constrain him and tell him that it can't be anything fantastical. It has to be rooted in reality.
Mm-hmm.
But I could see
bring
him
the water in somehow.
Doing something. I could see him doing something decent with it, though.
Yeah, just shoot it in 3D and go 100 million over budget and ignore all what the producers say and just make it like an epic action film with great characters. That'd be great.
Okay. Okay. All right. That's interesting. I wasn't expecting that one, but I'm okay.
When we started, I thought we were going to do all one genre, and so I picked historical.
Oh no! Sorry.
genre. But I only picked this movie, and then I didn't know what else to pick, and then I just kept this one.
Oh, okay. So you adjusted the you
Right.
adjusted the framework of your choices. Okay.
I think I just
Alright.
figured out how to make it in Hollywood. Make a movie called Wet Feet and get Cameron and Tarantino to do the pill quotes to the poster.
Right.
Wait, oh shit.
Okay, I'm going to address some of the comments.
Right.
What do you think about this
My
one?
2 favorite filmmakers.
Fifth Element remake would be
I mean-
great if Denis Villeneuve would do it.
Fifth Element, I disagree. Fifth Element is great because it's cartoony and fun. It would be a whole different movie. I don't think
It'd be
the
too
plot-
serious, maybe.
Yeah, I don't think the seriousness would necessarily work. And Fifth Element's another movie. I'm like, oh, they should remake that. And I'm like, it's perfect as it. I don't think they could remake it any better. I think the remake would almost have to be worse. So I disagree with that. I disagree. Although
I hate the Fifth Element, but it is what it is.
I will
Oh,
be
you-
talking about Denis some more.
You're not a fan? Okay.
I love
Oh.
Fifth Element. I love it.
It's fun. I like Chris Tucker in there. He cracks
Super
me
green.
up so much. I don't. Maybe some people thought he was really goofy, but I loved him. Yeah, we have some agreement
I
here, Big
love it.
Al. Yeah, we need a great Alexander film.
Yeah, it would be awesome.
And yeah, extremely slow and boring. Okay, hold on. Someone's. If Alexander deserves a remake, perhaps they should redo the Three Stooges.
I'd watch that. I'd watch
Oh
it.
my gosh. Three Snooges. Oh god. Three Snooges. Oh my goodness. Listen to me. Okay.
Hang around Colin too long. Snoochie Boochie.
Moochie Booch.
Okay. So
I've never
it's your turn, D.
Okay.
You're ready to share.
Yes. All right. Present. Share screen. Okay. That is fine.
Bear with us, folks. This is the first time we have asked our panel to do something like this. So we're all trying to figure it out.
Yes. Let's see. Okay. Okay.
Here
Is-
we go. Add to
visible?
stage. Oh. So this is your pick, Wishmaster.
It is. So it's like I have a well, no, I have a general kind of like a guilty pleasure enjoyment of Wishmaster. It's one of those as far as Wes Craven, I think a lot of folks don't even really think about when it comes to like his films, especially when we have like Scream kind of being the big one, and then some of his other popular films. But Wishmaster is just one of those where I love the concept of it, and I would love to see it kind of revamped and have a little kind of just taking away kind of like that late 90s kind of cheese away from it, and then really getting to the idea of what it would look like to have like an actual djinn and wishes, and what that would actually look like at wreaking havoc in society, in the world. And even what the new interpretation would look like, because I think the concept of it is cool, and I think it's still fun as is. But I would love to see that go even darker, and to see like how you could really explore the concept, especially when you have this djinn or genie, basically, who can kind of reinterpret your wishes however you want. So yeah, so I had to go with that one.
I never saw that one.
I've seen it. I think I've seen it at least once all the way through, and then it has played like on Pluto TV. They have it playing sometimes. Doesn't it star a girl that has like I don't know, I really like her hair. She reminds me a little bit of Sarah Connor in the first Terminator, though her hair isn't exactly as poofy, but she's kind of got sandy brownish colored hair.
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah. I do not know her name. It's just every time I see her, I think, oh, that's that chick that reminds me of young Sarah Connor.
Yeah.
Even though not exactly. Have you seen this one, Simon?
I have not. But I think I have, but I just can't remember it.
What year was it, D?
I believe this was 97.
This was the 97. Okay.
Yeah.
So
97, really?
It's like an evil genie, because he doesn't give them exactly. He misinterprets what they say
Well, on purpose.
to make it
Obviously.
bad. Okay.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I actually think one of the most interesting scenes, not to say that the rest of it isn't entertaining at least, but like one of the opening scenes is basically him, I want to say it's like, I'm sure it's like in the Middle East or what they consider to be an Arabian country or something like that. And basically he's unleashing the apocalypse, and we see these people all being transformed into all these different things, just like the sky is red, all this stuff is going on, and then he just manages, he manages to get to, they manage to trap him inside of this, I believe it was like a lamp or a bottle. But even that piece just kind of, it would be interesting, even in that, I don't know, even in the reinterpretation of it, it would be interesting to see a little bit of the backstory and, just to see what all you can do with that concept, especially with the gore piece of it, because some of the gore is kind of like cheesy gore, and
Oh yeah.
it would be interesting to lean more into like more intense body horror. Even though I go back and forth with body horror type stuff, sometimes it really makes me like it really gives me a hey. But there are times that can be really enjoyable, especially if it's done effectively. So yeah.
Man, I want to see the prequel of it where I want to see that whole movie of the backs, like the whole scene. That sounds really cool.
I'll be down with that too. Yeah.
That would be an interesting story, to be honest. Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm in agreement with all of these choices so far. So, nice one, D. But honestly, I haven't expected any of the ones that have popped up. It's just none of these that have occurred to me at all. I would have never guessed The Last Starfighter or Alexander or Wishmaster. So this is why I like it that we've kept it a secret from each other.
Yes.
Okay. So I think what my plan is, I closed out Simon's screen earlier, but what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, oops.
Oh, wait, should I hit stop sharing?
Oh, okay.
I maybe shouldn't have hit that.
No, it's okay. So I had kept yours up. I just kept it removed, and I was just going to keep it up. So whenever you pop up your picture again, I'll just put you back in the studio. Okay. Let me attend to the comments, because I think maybe what I should do is check the comments after we've all presented our particular one, just so I don't get too far behind, because someone mentioned Hercules and Xena series deserve remakes. I could see that. I could see that.
I was going to say, I like mythology, and then of course those were fun shows, especially at the age that I was watching them growing up. But it would be interesting. I kind of think, I feel like with Greek mythology in general, there's so many like great opportunities to make stories, whether it's about the gods and goddesses, about the demigods, about the people who are affected as all these things that are going on. There are so many interesting like fables and tales from that, and so I feel like that's something that either Hollywood or filmmakers, whoever, that's like a pool that people don't really, pull from. So.
No.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd be down for that. I only saw a little bit of Hercules and Xena, but I know they were both pretty popular, especially Xena. Super popular shows. Alexander had the worst casting choices plus story. Yeah. Colin would be in agreement with you.
It just was kind of a slog. It was just, it's hard to, it was weird the way the elements came together in that one.
Was Brad Pitt in Alexander?
Oh, I think maybe he's thinking
of Troy.
Yeah, or he maybe just, it made him think of Troy also, just in relation to it. But
okay. Oh, Josh.
Yeah, hey Josh.
Let's see.
Chris Almighty is a dark philosophical drama.
Only movie I truly appreciated with Brad Pitt was Meet Joe Black. Okay.
I do enjoy Meet Joe Black.
Have you seen Fury, Lady V? Because that, I don't know, that one might be my favorite.
Or Snatch.
Snatch. Oh my gosh, how could I forget Snatch? Right?
Snatch.
But turn the subtitles on. For anybody who hasn't seen Snatch, turn on the dang subtitles.
Once upon a time.
No, there's nothing what he's talking about.
You will need the subtitles.
Glorious Bastards.
Ever see the Alexander the Great TV pilots? No.
No, that sounds interesting.
I did not. Nope, have never heard of that one. Okay, so yes, yeah, okay. Yeah, I liked Brad Pitt and Mr. and Mrs. Smith. That was a fun movie. 7 was very cool, but please, Brad is like Kevin Costner, bland. He didn't used to do too much for me, and I don't remember what it was that finally made Brad Pitt kind of. I warmed to him a little bit more as an actor. I'm not sure if it was Mr. and Mrs. Smith or if it was Fury, but I have grown to appreciate him more. Just like I've grown to appreciate Leonardo DiCaprio more than I used to in the past.
Buongiorno.
Buongiorno. Oh my gosh. You know, that's how we open up our meetings sometimes. Sound Theater, when we have our managers meetings. So we start doing this buongiorno, really bad Italian. Oh, and speaking of, this is so off topic of this, but Justin bumped into Christoph Waltz last week at the grocery store.
No way.
In Toronto.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and it was so funny.
You were a coworker?
Yeah, Justin is one of our. He's like what do we call him? He's the director. No, I'm director of operations. He's like whatever. He's one of our. We gave ourselves all these titles. No, they were at the nuts section, the cashews and the whatever. And he said he saw him, he noticed him, and he was like. And then his mind kind of left him or something, and he started doing this weird, and he was with his girlfriend, and she's like talking about whatever they're going to make that night, and he just not in tune with her at all, because he was like, I think that's Christoph Waltz. Is that Christoph Waltz? Yes, that has to be. That is Christoph Waltz. And so finally, he went back to kind of like try to say hi to him, but Christoph had dropped these nuts all over the place. and so he was like, okay, I'm not going. But then later he came back around and he said, hi, can I shake your hand? And he said Christoph was something like, well, I don't know. Like, it depends, like maybe he thought that Justin was trying to attack him or something. Anyway, he said I turned into the biggest blubbering idiot, and I was just telling him how much I love your stuff, and so they fist bumped and whatever. So awesome. I looked it up, and I determined that it's probably because he's up there filming Frankenstein.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So yeah, that was sorry, that was a little side story, but that was really fun.
Is he Dr. Frankenstein?
Frankenstein.
He would be awesome as Dr. Frankenstein.
Frankenstein.
That's not how we say it, Simon. I honestly do not know.
He would be great.
The monster.
It's or not.
the monster. It's supposed to take place 40 years after the events of the book.
Well, Frankenstein's dead.
The monster is played by the dude who played in Saltburn.
Barry Keoghan?
No, the other guy. The guy.
Jacob.
That guy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Elordi. Yeah.
Yes, him. So I have a feeling it will be more enjoyable than Saltburn.
Oof. I hope so.
Dee and I both are like, oh my gosh, our eyes were scarred. Phil Element remake would ruin it. Yeah, I could see where you're coming from there. I like Kevin Costner.
Me too. I love both those movies.
The original.
I really like Dances with Wolves.
That was a good movie, actually. Mm-hmm. It was very good.
He's made another epic western.
He's making a new epic one. Yeah.
But I don't remember the name of it. But you're right. Hey,
American
Sean.
Frontier,
how are you doing?
I saw a trailer for it in Dune 2. You're making like a two-parter.
Oh, they did show it. Okay.
A two-parter. For some reason, the trailer just looked pretty bland to me, though. Maybe the movie version would be better.
Okay.
Oh, Sin, I was going to ask you something. What you said about Leonardo and Brad Pitt, I feel like we probably discussed this before. Do you think part of it is just kind of like when they're in that kind of pretty boy, kind of teeny bopper-ish kind of stage, and then they kind of mature and get into the more mature roles?
Yeah.
Yes. That's exactly what it is, because I wasn't super crazy about Johnny Depp until he got older.
Mm-hmm.
When he was in his pretty boy days, he did. I was not interested. Like, it was just, no, you're pretty to look at, but I'm not interested in whatever it is you're playing.
You think Timothy Chalamet's at his inflection point?
I don't know if Timothy
Robert
Chalamet's
Pattinson's one of those.
ever going to grow on me, honestly.
Yeah.
Timothy.
We've had a few discussions about it.
I think he was a fine Paul. And honestly, I don't think I've seen any other movie he's been in.
Bones and All. Have you not seen Bones and All?
Oh gosh, Sin's favorite. A culinary delight.
Made the mistake of eating supper while I was watching that doggone movie. Oh my gosh.
Of all the options, Sin, that's the one.
I shouldn't have. I didn't think they were going to be quite as explicit as they were in some of those scenes. So yeah, that was nasty. Fertilance says, I want Tron 3. I love the second one, visuals and okay, yeah, but so they do have a Tron 3 coming up. I never saw the second one, y'all. Oh, so Lady V's giving her stamp of approval.
Oh, thank you.
Sorry, I'm a little behind on these comments. He probably I'm not sure who that was in response to. Did you like Pumpkinhead?
I remember Pumpkinhead, but I feel like I saw that when I was much younger. I probably have to watch that now.
Lance Henriksen was the father. I've seen it a few times. It's okay. Do you know what modern Hollywood? Yeah, we definitely know what modern Hollywood does to movies.
Well, that's what I'm hoping to avoid. I want the right horror and the right horror inflection. Something that, manages to avoid some of the stuff that we don't care for.
Yeah.
Lady V's a fucking hornball.
Who? Yes, she is. You saw her. Did you see her at the Sound Booth Theater? She showed up on that live stream commenting, and she cracked me up. Yeah, Dark Genies, they can make that hot AF too if it's done right.
They can.
Perhaps Bruce Almighty is a very dark and philosophical drama.
I like that.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. I could see it working.
Yeah.
I have seen this movie and own the movie, but I haven't seen the movie Alexander. Okay.
What about Donald Almighty?
What?
Donald Almighty.
About the president?
Yeah.
Oh.
What happens if you get him godlike powers? Jesus Christ.
I thought you were thinking Donald Duck.
Well, I was, for a second I was wondering. I was like,
Donald Duck.
I was thinking about all the Donalds.
That would be weird. Sleepaway Camp.
I was gonna say, I watched that one recently.
For the first time ever?
For the first time.
Oh yeah.
Did you know what was going to happen at the end? Oh, I wish I could have seen your face, D.
Wasn't it shocking? Even as an adult?
I was just like, I was thinking, it was just one of those where I just kind of stared at the screen and I was just like,
were you still trying to process what?
Yes, because then it hits that moment and then it ends. And I was like, first I was trying to process the fact that was the reveal, the ending. And I was like, oh, because for whatever reason, I was thinking, I don't know. I'm thinking it's some kind of, horror twist, some kind of government conspiracy, aliens, I don't know, something. Yeah. Some deeper spin or something like that. I'm thinking like Goosebumps style. And then that, I was just like, oh.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah, that last shot was, that's like, wow, okay, what a reveal.
Yeah.
So did you see the meme I posted in Discord?
When did you post it?
A while back.
Yeah.
Sleepaway Camp.
No, I might not have. When you say a while back, how far back?
Couple weeks.
You could share it here if you want to share screen. I'll give you a chance to pull that up. I'm going to continue to go through the comments. So Alexander Skarsgård, that's Bill's brother, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. He has played a hero. He played Tarzan.
Yeah, I was gonna say he knows he's done the build before, so yeah. I mean, he can do the look.
Someone's asking, what about Soylent Green? I don't think I've ever seen that one.
It's funny because I hadn't seen Soylent Green, but I'm a big fan of Cloud Atlas, and they have a very direct Soylent Green reference there, and that's when I found out after the fact about the original story in the movie. So I still gotta watch that one.
Okay, I think this is your friend.
Yes, hey, Cousin Bill.
Hi, Bill. Perspective. Okay, see, Brad Pitt. We got a little bit of argument going on here. He's not overrated. Okay, I have not.
I'm always
About
adding
y'all?
stuff to my list, though.
Okay. Mr. and Mrs. Smith was fun. 12 Monkeys. Oh yes, that's right. I forgot he was in 12 Monkeys.
Yeah, he wasn't that one.
Dictation was great, and Gilbert Grape. What? I'm not
Oh, I
sure.
think he was saying DiCaprio.
Oh, okay. He might be using voice to talk.
Oh, that happens to me too. Yeah.
Prefer Brad Pitt when he was younger. Okay. All right. Yeah, right.
I can't remember what stream we were on, but yeah, Bell and it was a few folks on there discussing Saltburn. I was like, Lord.
Oh my gosh, you know what? Mike, when he has his streams, it seems like I tune in right as they're talking about Saltburn.
Of course.
So I make a snarky comment about it, and they're like, Sid, you must have some sort of like, you just hone in, you have this radar for whenever people are talking.
Exactly.
Saltburn. Oh,
I told Mike I needed some space from him once he told me how much he enjoyed it. I was like, okay, maybe we need to just take some time apart.
Yeah, just take a break. Take a break. Okay, so these are Nanette's 5 favorites. Okay. A River Runs Through It, Legend of the Fall, Interview with the Vampire Fight Club, Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
Oh, the 5 Brad Pitt movies that she likes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, he apparently did. Several of them. I would love to see a TMNT remake that's closer to the 1990 film, only enhanced by CGI. Oh, I really enjoyed that movie.
Yeah,
the second one too. I like the second one too.
But the suits, obviously, they could probably do a better job. Maybe they could just go and digitally fix all that.
Right.
Maybe not necessarily remake it, but just go clean it up and make it look cooler.
Yeah, that's the thing that kind of sucks. I feel like we never got. I mean, I appreciate they kind of carried on with making variations or other adaptations of it, but nothing has ever gotten back into the live action piece of it. It's all just been variations of
animated type of stuff. Yeah, exactly. I typically do stream at 8, but we all decided that this time would work really well.
And it's a rarity, so I jumped on it.
It is. I am actually swamped with a lot of stuff because I'm leaving for business and vacation in a couple days. So it's probably good that we're starting a little earlier so that maybe I can get back to some audiobook work whenever we're done. We'll see.
Best job ever.
Could you drive to Kansas City on Saturday?
Yeah, you want to go to the free party we're having?
I could, but I don't know if I will. On Saturday, I'm working on the weekend.
Oh, that's right. You work on the weekend. Yeah, Sound Booth Theater's having an event for fans, and yeah.
Well, you guys are going to Kansas City?
Yeah, I'm going to Kansas City on Thursday to Planet Comic Con. Cool. I messaged you on Discord, but because you never check, you never saw it.
It's too soon for me. I don't like traveling. I don't like the highway. I don't like
planes, but oh well.
I don't like planes. I don't like leaving my town really.
Okay. All right. Well, never mind then.
I don't know. I feel bad.
I'll say hi from Kansas City. Hi.
Yes. I'm sorry, Stan. I wish I could go. I wish we could have met up in person at some point. It's just a hope and a dream. One of these days.
Yeah, one of these days when I get that video done. We'll find out one of these days.
Serial killers have a very specific hunting area, so that explains it.
No, it's like
Colin.
It's not that bad, really. It's a 2-hour trip, so it's not that. It's not really. I don't know.
No, I get it. It's okay. But if you had checked your Discord, you would have known that I asked you.
Do you think the answer would be different if you weren't high?
I'm always high. Maybe.
Okay, back to the comments. True Beverly Hills, but with a serial killer twist. I could go with that because I like horror stuff. Kind of was a hero in The Northman. Yes, that's true.
That's true. Did you like The Northman, Sin? I still didn't see it. I didn't get a chance to see it.
I liked it, but I wasn't crazy about it.
Okay.
I mean, it was okay. Sorry, going through. I let the comments, but this is the stress part.
Yeah, I got
of hosting your live stream.
Trying to keep up. Yep.
You don't want to ignore people, but sometimes you're talking. And, oh, you are? Okay, well, I'm going to be there. So I don't know in what capacity, because our director of marketing, she dropped the ball and forgot to get us invited there as an actual guest. So I'm just going as a
Oh.
regular person, but still we'll have a presence, but unfortunately we won't have a booth
Oh.
this
And
year.
share my screen.
Okay. Which one? The one that says spoilers?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh yeah, there we go. Sorry. Yeah, this is for anybody who's going to be in the Kansas City area this weekend. Sound Booth
Yay.
Theaters is having a lounge party. Jeff is going to be doing a live reading of a little bit of the 7th book in the Dungeon Crawler Carl series, and it's going to be from 8 to midnight. And I'll probably be hunkered up in a corner with my computer, ignoring the crowd. Because I don't do parties and crowds very well.
So
It's probably
sociable,
going to be
Sin.
so loud. It's going to be so loud. We're going to have Aaron doing some of the music. Aaron Morton. He's our lead composer. He's also the guy who's, I think I mentioned him to you before. He's Chris Stuckman's friend. He's done his intro music on Chris Stuckman's channel. And Aaron is fantastically talented. It's ridiculous. You guys should go listen to his stuff on Spotify. Aaron J. Morton. He's super talented. Yeah. He's got a really interesting style. He reminds me a little bit, the way he does his music reminds me a little bit of like Simon and Garfunkel. He's got like that sort of folksy type of, but yet he can do poppy stuff too. I don't know. So anyway, that's what's happening this weekend, Saturday. And then of course we'll be at the con Friday, Saturday, and maybe Sunday.
And here's that meme.
Wow. That was terrible.
That's pretty good.
Okay. All right. Let me let's see. Oh, okay. Okay, well, maybe I'll try to get in touch with you and see if I can say hi or something. We pass by each other at the con. Colin is always too high and I'm always too drunk. If the point is to take awful movies and fix them, how about Stardust Memories? I don't know that movie.
Me either.
I'm sorry, Phil. I did notice your Clockwork Orange. I saw it. I thought I popped it up, but I might not have. This is what happens when I'm talking and trying to read comments at the same time. What do you guys think about a Clockwork Orange remake?
Yeah.
Right?
It's one of those where it's going to be hard because
I think it's very of its time.
It's such a significant part of film history. But I feel like it kind of depends on the lens and the approach, because I don't know how much of the original story it captures. I'm assuming it does a fairly good job, but there could be opportunities to do something with that. It just kind of depends on the perspective. That's all I'm going to say, because that can go a lot of different ways.
I never read the book or watched the movie all the way through.
For me, it's like, do you know a filmmaker was kind of good but didn't quite achieve mastery? Kubrick. Doesn't make sense.
Do you mean that, or are you?
Oh, I mean that, yeah. Kubrick was a master of his craft. Why would you fucking remake a Kubrick movie?
Oh, okay. You're being sarcastic. I thought you were saying that he wasn't a master. I was like, wait, what? Okay, sorry. This is not. Maybe I'm not firing on all cylinders. I will never be entered. I know. I'm sorry, Sashi. You're so doggone far away. I hate that. And also, Simon shared the link if any of you guys want to check it out. Never thought that was Villain and Barbarian. Oh,
they did subvert expectations in that one.
Right. That was the brother.
Yeah.
That was, what's his name? Yeah.
In Bill. Because I was definitely waiting for the other shoe to drop, and it did, but not in the way that I thought at the beginning of Barbarian.
It kind of made you wonder, but then I kept thinking, I don't think that what we think is supposed to be an issue is not really going to be going on. I just had that. The authoritarianism going on now makes sense. I just think it's cool that another YouTuber wants to come to Planet Comic Con. I'm not coming there as a YouTuber. I'm coming there in relation to the audiobook company that I work with. So Anyway, yeah. Making a bad movie better.
She has professional obligations.
I do. I do. But it's all fun. I still
Yeah,
love
that's
it.
when I would go
Okay.
to KCMO.
Say what?
Nothing.
What'd you?
Nothing.
Oh. Okay. All right. Now it's finally my turn. I'm going to present my screen. You guys, I have mentioned this to you before, but you won't know what it is.
Oh my. Okay.
Okay. Juana La Cubana is a 1994 Mexican movie. You see Eric Estrada there. When he got blacklisted, Mexico opened up its arms to him, and he started to do stuff there in Mexico. He even played in Dos Mujeres Un Camino, which was a telenovela that I think Selena had a little tiny bit part in, and was a very famous song. Anyway, whatever. His Spanish was so bad they had to dub his Spanish in here.
Why do you get blacklisted?
It had something to do with it wasn't anything like super, like he did something super bad. It was like, like criminal bad. It was that he was, I think it was a financial thing. He was wanting more payment for, I think it had to do with his role on Chips, which was about the motorcycle cops in California. And it was a very big show back in the day. And I want to say, I think that's what it was. He was wanting more because he and another guy were the stars of the show. And it was this big dispute, and he got blacklisted. And so anyway, Juana La Cubana, there is a song called Juana La Cubana, and I don't know if the story is, the actual plot of the story is based on whatever the song says. But anyway, Juana La Cubana plays this girl who was a daughter of like this general, and I think it's supposed to take place in Cuba, but I can't remember. But wherever it is, it's some Latin American country with like dictatorship, authoritarian, totalitarian government. And her father was a general, and he was like a rebelling against he was not in favor of what the government was doing. Anyway, he gets killed. This is like a lead up at the very beginning. He gets killed, and a lady there that knows her, he gets killed when she's young. A lady takes her under her wing, teaches her how to be like this nightclub singer and everything. So she becomes this nightclub singer, but she also joins like this rebellion against the government. So she's like living these dual lives. And I liked the plot I liked the setup. I thought it was really cool. The downside is this was back in the 90s. So obviously Mexico wasn't quite up there with, technical aspects of some of its filmmaking. They make a lot of movies on the cheap. And also that main actress, her husband is like a big name in Mexico. He's an actor. So anything he's in or he's involved in, she's got a part, even though she's a really terrible actor. She's a bad actor. Like, she's not good at all. But I actually really enjoyed the story. Anyway, so yeah, that's one of the ones that was one of the first ones that popped into my mind when we started talking about this, was Juana La Cubana. Yeah, well, yeah, it is Cuba. Cubana. Oh my gosh. Yeah. It's Cuba. She's Cuban. Anyway.
Did you see that on like TV or video in like the 90s when it was new?
I think it was actually a tape that my husband somehow brought home. I don't remember how I got my hands on it, but I liked it so much I bought the DVD. The downside is the DVD is crappier than the VHS was. The transfer was terrible.
Wow.
But I would love for this story to be remade. Like some of the song sequences that they would have too. I liked the songs. They were catchy, and she was like dancing around in her little, nightclubby dress or outfit and whatever. And some of these scenes are cringe, obviously, just because of how terrible she is at acting and all. But I just like the concept of it. So I would love to see this.
Like a little bit, it got a little bit of a Tailspin vibe going on. Like hanging out at the bar during the day, going out, get involved in some action at night.
Yeah, she was like one of the
background,
working with the rebels, and it was showing the stuff that the rebels were doing and their different, missions that they had planned. And then meanwhile, she'd go and like at one point she gets injured while she's doing something with the rebels. She gets injured, and then so she has to go and perform later, and one of the bad generals is there at the place where she's performing, and like she at some point gets on this wire, and she's like in her performance, and she comes up close to him somehow, and she's bleeding through where she got hurt. And so that's like he sees this and he knows, oh, she's somehow involved. You know, it's Eric Estrada, actually. That's who it was, because he plays the bad general in here. Anyway, I don't know. I just always liked the concept. So that's why I picked Juana La Cubana. So that's
What I find most interesting is that those, like the bra isn't part of the corset. It's just a couple of ladles held together with straps.
Yeah, I know. You know, honestly, I don't remember this outfit in the movie. So it might just be for the poster. Yeah, I know. Anyway. So
Well,
yeah, that's kind of an obscure one. That's the only obscure one. The others you guys will know. But I have for so long wanted a remake of this.
Nice.
All right. So Simon, yours next.
Okay. Let's find this. So this is the movie that turned me from a movie-loving 9-year-old into a discerning movie-loving 9-year-old. Because I remember watching it, I'm just like, what the fuck? It's The Wizard of Speed and Time.
Oh, I've never heard of this movie.
I'm not familiar with this one. Interesting.
No?
No.
That Tom Cruise.
Basically, it's about a sort of special effects savant who wants to get into filmmaking. And there's like a convoluted plot about making a deal with producers, and the producers are against him to try and make a bet so that he won't produce anything useful, but it ends up being real successful. Ultimately, it's a movie about, or it wants to be, a movie about the creative spirit overcoming the man, basically.
Yeah.
But the director, Mike Jitloff, I think his name is, gets in the way because he's a fucking lunatic. Here is his webpage. And
this is his webpage. This is
Yep.
the director's website.
Yeah, but he hates like structure and bureaucracy and everything. And here is an original tax form from 1913.
What?
And when you click on it, it goes into a wall of fucking text, breaking it down about how bad it is.
Wow.
He is just absolutely demented.
This is the director you were talking about. You wanted to show his page. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh.
As a kid, I watched the trailer and it like showed all the special effects stuff, and I thought, oh, I'd like to watch that. But then I got into it, and it's just this sort of, it's a 90-minute rant against bureaucracy and everything. It's weird.
That's so funny.
But it could be remade. It has potential. Like the premise has potential. Like about, especially now with all the special effects being so democratized, that somebody could make a little movie against the wishes of the studio and end up being successful. And that's the story. But yeah,
that's funny.
That's crazy. Has this director done anything else that we might know?
Don't know. I don't think so. This The Wizard of Speed of Time was originally a short he made in the 70s.
Okay.
And then it was turned into a movie.
Wow.
It was in Ghost.
He was in Ghost?
Mm-hmm.
The director?
He played the dark ghost.
Oh. Okay.
Interesting. So he was a crazy person. And he got one movie made. Director.
That's so funny. His website is. Oh my gosh.
Oh my god. He's like, you all know me from the legendary.
Can you see little stars in the background? No.
Wizard of Speed and Time.
No, because it's.
Yeah, they won't scale either.
And I'm here to tell you, you can do it too.
Oh, well.
I'm going to assume this director's no longer with us.
He is, I think.
Oh, really? Okay.
Let's look him up. There he is.
That website gives me a lot of nostalgia.
Right? Oh, that's him. Oh my gosh.
He's 75 years old.
Oh, okay.
He's like the guy you can be rich with the exclamation jacket. You remember those infomercials?
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
That's who I first thought of.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Oh man.
Yeah, he's mainly a special effects guy who got one movie. And that was it. And it showed potential, but he got in the way.
Man,
Okay, well
That's
that's
so
an
funny.
interesting one. Never ever heard of that.
I kind of want to see that now. I'm kind of most.
I forgot to say you can watch it on YouTube. There's a couple of copies on YouTube.
Oh, well, I was gonna say you
don't
probably
think I'm
need to be
gonna
high to watch it
very
too,
far.
right?
Mhm.
I'm gonna skip around. I have to start it.
I'm not sure, but you might be correct, Iron Herder. Probably. If this is in reference to Juana La Cubana, it's there are some scenes. There's nothing like there's no like nudity or any. There's nothing like that. There are some steamy sort of scenes, but it's absolutely not.
Mhm.
Yeah, no, Sashi, how dare you? Yes, Eric
Actually-
Estrada was Bond.
Actually,
No,
yes.
what?
Gonna share the screen.
Oh gosh, I'm waiting for it to pop up. Where is it? I
Oh, wait,
don't
hang on.
see it. Oh, it's down here. Sorry. No, that's D's. I don't see yours, Simon.
There we go.
Okay, hold on. Yeah. Okay. I've seen this. What is it? Oh yeah. Okay, y'all. If you've never seen this, have you seen this, D? Watch. It's blasphemous, y'all.
Oh wow.
This is absolutely. Ah!
Wow.
That's terrible. Okay. All right. Oh, so this is in reference to the poster of what you just showed. Oh gosh. Let's see. See, this is annoying. The thing jumps down and then I lose track. Oh yeah, it was back up here. Paunch. Paunch was Eric Estrada's character. Yes, Chris Pine's dad was in Chips. He played the guy who was the boss man
Yeah, I didn't know
of
that.
them, and you can tell that he's Chris Pine's dad. He looks a lot. Yeah, Larry Wilcox. That's the other guy's name. She seems fine to me. Resume of one checks. I'm not sure if that's in response to Juana La Cubana. I don't know.
think so.
Maybe. Yeah. Mexico made that awesome Christmas movie about Santa where the devil tries to kill Santa and makes all the kids naughty. Was that you that told me about this movie? Because I think I did put it on my watch list. Someone has told me about this film. Yeah. I think this is what he's referring to. Like Water for Chocolate.
Yes, yeah, that's a really cool one. That's the one where I'm really interested in reading the original story.
Oh,
Great.
yeah, that's right. It was based on a book.
Mhm.
The picture made me think of The Last Starfighter or Flight of the Navigator. I think he's referring to the one you were sharing.
That poster.
Oh, yeah, deleted. Yeah, you answered your own question. He's probably locked himself in a dark, dank dungeon for his own amusement. Okay. That's the Riddler. I'm not sure what that's in reference to.
That
That's
picture
the
of the
wizard,
director
yeah.
in that green outfit.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Right? Exactly. Okay, it's Colin's turn now.
All right. Let me hit the share. So I go to. I'm gonna do this faster this time. I hit present, share screen, click that, share, and then it went.
Yep. There we go.
All right, inner space.
Inner Space. Oh, the one with David Quaid.
Dennis.
Dennis Quaid.
Dennis Quaid.
And
The famous
Meg-
historical epic.
Yeah.
It's historical. Yeah. I was actually watching a music video the other day.
It's been forever since I've seen this.
Justice, the band Justice, or DJs, whatever, they have this new video. I don't even remember what it's. One of their new videos is it's like going in like it seems like it's inside a body, and but with modern technology, it's filmed. It looks really cool, and I was watching it like, God, I wish they would remake Inner Space, and I don't think I've even seen it since I was like 10 or 11, so I don't even remember exactly all the stuff about it. But I just feel like that's something that I would love them. That brings out the kid in me.
Yes.
That it's almost like I don't even care who does it or how they do it exactly. I just want them to make it feel like I'm really going into a body and like at a cellular level and moving around. Like I don't need like a bad guy plot or a sense of danger and epicness. There could be a danger in that they might get squished or whatever. There doesn't need to be like a villain or whatever. It would just be just as, yeah, I want to feel like that. Like all the different creative, or not even creative, but like just things you've never seen before, like kind of thing. And they could make it really, really cool, I think, with all the that they've learned and mapped out in the body and the way they know more about, and the way technology is just better, that they really spent a lot of time. It would just be a really fun movie. I remember I even liked that, like Osmosis Jones, just like
oh yeah, that yeah.
It's like I want to see it. Even I don't even know. They could do it so many ways, but yeah, it brings out the kid in me. In that, it just that idea alone is pretty much enough to sell me. If they really had it like a big budget and they wanted to make it really more realistic than just make it. I don't want it to be necessarily just like for kids and they take all these liberties that don't make sense. I want it to actually seem like it's scientifically accurate, but it could be like a kind of a whimsical. I don't necessarily want it to be like an adult dramatic film either, though. You know, I want it to be in that kind of sweet spot of maybe a family-friendly film that is just also just really cool to see. That music video really it's pretty cool too. But anyways, Inner Space is a fun movie, and it would be really fun. I don't know how they would do it, but it would be fun if they remade it, I guess, with modern effects.
How about Inner Space mashed up with Joe Dante's other big property, Gremlins?
Inside
You
of
got
a
gremlins in your blood.
Well, you got to go in a gremlin to defeat them. You got to find out their weakness. It's all different. All their organs are in different spots. But I was thinking, it's like so much of the time I don't like CG green screen type environments. I think it ruins movies, but I feel like it can be done right. And in this situation, I would like them to use all that like CG to make something really like cool and different I've never seen before.
Right.
Yeah, I was gonna say the first time I saw Inner Space was on the Disney Channel in the '90s. And they had all different kinds of movies they would air, and this was one of those. And I loved it immensely. It's been a little while since I watched it, but yeah, that's one thing I miss about. That's one thing I'll just say this one thing I appreciate about a lot of those channels. Nickelodeon, Disney Channel, Nick at Night, what was it? Vault? I think it was the Vault Disney or Retro Disney. They would have a lot of shows and movies and things like that were like old school. So like you got to not just the modern kiddie stuff, but you got to watch a lot of things and expose to other things. That I hadn't seen before. So, but that was really fun. Still, age appropriate for kids, but just a different vibe, different time.
Yeah, I watched Disney and Nickelodeon a lot too, back in the 90s.
It's been a long while since I think the last time I saw this movie was back in the 80s.
Mm-hmm. Really?
And I remember being pretty impressed, but I also remember knowing that there was no way that baby could have been that far along with how she looked.
Yeah.
Because remember when they showed, it was like this child was very, very developed. And she was not showing at all. And there's just like, no. But I guess
Watch Party?
What?
Watch Party?
Oh,
yes,
Inner Space?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I've forgotten a lot of. I do remember though that this may have been the first time I ever saw Martin Short, and I remember he left an impression on me. I think I liked him.
I forgot he was in here. Who did he play?
Oh, he's the main character.
Mm-hmm.
Martin Short?
Yeah.
He was the guy who got injected.
Well, next to Dennis Quaid.
Oh, Dennis Quaid got injected into him, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. No, but he also ended up in the body of his girlfriend somehow.
At the end, yeah.
Okay. All right. It's like I was starting to doubt myself. Okay. All right, that's a good one. Let me see, unshare. Hold on. Well, there we go. All right, I'm gonna check the comments. There was a comment that I wanted to.
I'll be right back.
Okay. Oh yeah, here we go. Matthew Lesko was the real life Riddler.
Oh, that's the guy. Yeah.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. We do have some comments. I've already popped these up, but I'll put them up again about inner space. So I'd love a new and proper Spawn movie. Is it my imagination, or are they supposed to be making another Spawn?
I don't know.
Have you heard
That's a
anything,
cool
D?
idea though.
Possibly.
Okay, I thought I'd heard talk of another, unless they're just doing another animated type of thing. I have a Spawn. You can't see him, but I have a Todd McFarlane Spawn character back here. Spawn fighting against some guy. He's way back here, hidden behind stuff. And if I move anything, everything's gonna come crashing down. But oh shoot, I feel like maybe I should, just for purposes of showing it off. Doggone. Oh, but there's all these Wonder Woman thing around here. I don't know if you can see it, but it's right here. And I can't zoom. I'm sorry. It's right in front of the Black Panther.
Oh, I see the red cape.
You see the
up.
cape? Yeah, that's Spawn. And across from him is this guy with a knife that he's fighting with.
Nice. I had a couple Spawn figures. Very cool.
Since I watched, yeah, same.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine movies with actual facts. Folks would go back to reading books and Friends and stuff. Well, I feel like I can tell he's aged now.
I was gonna say that Martin Short should, and Dennis Quaid, but Martin Short should.
Thanks, Arn.
I thought Dennis Quaid still alive. He didn't die.
Yeah, he's still alive.
Yeah, he was he's in the movie coming up now. I can't remember what I just saw him in, but yeah.
I don't know why I thought he died. Okay, then both him and Martin Short should make appearances. Just cameos. They
Wouldn't that be that would be fun.
Cameos.
You don't think they could, Sashi? I mean, I could see them injecting some stupidity in it, but maybe quality of filmmaking, they could make it look. Well, we say this, but then we also complain about how terrible some of the CGI has been in recent movies compared to movies from the 90s that seem to hold up better. So I don't know.
I honestly don't know who would be the best director for this. Inner Space remake. I couldn't even say. Just as long as I would want it to be scientifically accurate and kind of family friendly, but not just for kids.
Yeah.
I feel like that's what the original was, but it's been so. I don't think I've seen it even as an adult, so I don't remember how well it played for adults. Because I only saw it as a kid.
I think it presented itself as a film that could appeal to both children and adults.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. Okay, so I think Lady V is talking about the potential Spawn movie. Deleted might have left. Deleted is always streaming, and I don't know if he's streaming today, so it might be he had to. Supposed to. Okay. All right. Sorry, I'm late getting to the comments. So it's not my imagination. Okay. With Benicio del Toro playing who? Okay. All right. CGI can be good if it's done well. And sometimes the problem is it's overdone. Okay, D, your turn.
Okay. Let's see.
Just let me know whenever you're ready, and I'll pop it up. I see you going. Oh, I almost picked that one.
I will say.
Yeah.
Okay, we're ready for D's. Sorry, go ahead, Colin.
I think CGI. It's bad when people use it to be lazy instead of just doing something cool. It's cool. It's good when
Agreed.
It's done as a way because they couldn't do it any other way. But it's bad when they're like, well, it'd just be cheaper and easier to use CG. That's
I agree.
With practical effects, they have to do it ahead of time for the production. CGI comes after the fact, so it's easier to make it lazy.
Okay, so D's. I almost picked this D. Mm-hmm. It was between this and the next one that I'm going to show.
Okay.
But I am in agreement with you.
Oh, wow.
On this one.
Nice.
The concept was so entertaining, right? Just the whole idea of it.
Awesome.
Yeah, and see, I think at the time when it came out, I was too young, so I wasn't familiar with the original graphic novel or the original story
Yeah, me either.
within the graphic novel. But yeah, but just and then of course, with me being a massive reader and realizing the majority of these characters are literary based within these worlds. As far as these different books, stories, and famous or infamous characters. I loved it conceptually, but I was old enough at that point to know that there was some struggly stuff going on, especially with the effects. Because even at that point, whenever they had, I almost said Hulk, whenever they had Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, and they had the villain turning into that balloon
Creature
weird
guy looking
yeah,
thing.
like all the
Yeah.
stuff they did, it was just like, ooh, all right. Like I don't know that much about even not knowing that much about CGI, I was just like, this ain't looking like it's supposed to. So, but I think it's one of those that could either be like a film trilogy or it could be a limited series, but just something that would really do the characters justice, even to the point, and I understand like to some people they don't really care about backstories, but to me, there would be a really interesting way of kind of having every episode or at least some aspect of the film, depending on how they do it, where it's centered around the character, how they came to be, and then we tie it back into the current mission or the current situation, what's going on with the characters. But yeah, I just think it's unfortunate that it was received so poorly because that's what made Sean Connery was like, okay,
He's
this
like,
whole
I'm
acting
out.
thing is not for me. I'm out.
I'm done. Because he had turned down all these other roles that he ended up being so excellent. And then but I really, one of the reasons also I was super interested in this is because the girl who played the vampire, she played in the Nikita show.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Peta, is her name? Oh gosh, I can't remember. Peta something, whatever.
Peter Wilson.
Anyway, yes, her. And I always liked her. And so the fact that she was in here, okay, I'm curious to check it out. And just the whole idea of it, all of these different characters, I just found it so fascinating. And there's a part of me that still enjoys it to an extent when I watch it. But then it's like, doggone, it could have been so much better.
Yes,
Shoot.
and it has a very distinct early 2000s vibe to it, especially with the effects. So.
Yeah, that's true. Not very good, in other words.
And then I like the fact that it and then I'm already someone who loves like a team up type movie. I just like seeing characters with different skills, powers, abilities, whatever, coming together, for this to defeat a common enemy. And then of course this is distinct in its own way because of the fact we have the Invisible Man, we have what is it? I think it's Mina Harker from Dracula.
Yes.
Dorian Gray. That's it's even more interesting that way.
Yeah. Great concept. Terrible, terrible, terrible execution. And I was, like I said, super close, D. In fact, it wasn't until the day I messaged you guys, I messaged D, I messaged Colin and Simon saying what my last year was. I had just figured it out, but I was like, oh. And anyway, so that's a good one. Very good. Okay. All right. I don't think I'm too behind on someone mentioned, if people think of Dorian Gray now, that's true. Right?
Oh, right. Exactly.
How about Killer Clowns from Outer Space? Oh my goodness. I honestly don't know how you could save that concept. The whole concept of that is crazy to me to begin with. I understand it's a pretty popular like cult classic. I like Sean Connery in Time Bandits. Time Bandits would be an interesting movie. They would definitely mess it up badly, though, if they remade it. It's been a while since I've seen.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Penny Dreadful. I never finished watching that. I liked what I saw of it.
Yeah, I actually remembered hearing that. Like some of the, I think it had more of a horror spin. I think, from what I remember.
Yes. Yeah, it did. It definitely did. And League of Extraordinary Gentlemen was more, action, adventure, thriller type of.
Right.
You like movies people hate, and you hate movies people love. So you're one of those contrary types. Is that what it is? The man who would be. Okay, Penny Dreadful. Oh, did it really?
And did
Now-
they do
now I-
Penny Dreadful City of Angels? I heard they did like some kind of spin-off series. Maybe I'm thinking of something else, but I think that was it.
City of Angels is something that sounds familiar to me.
Hmm.
I don't know. Okay, my turn. So my second one is this one was the one I chose. This was the one I chose instead of
Nice.
League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
I like it.
Yeah, Wild Wild West. I remember. We talked about this before. So when I was young and Wild Wild West was on TV and I would see it at like my family's house, aunts or whatever, because I didn't have a TV, I used to have a crush on the main guy. I thought he was so cool and handsome and everything. But I could also tell that the concept of the show looked really interesting. Even so, if I went back and rewatched it now, I would think it's horrible. But I like the whole idea of it. So something I was thinking of as a way to describe this was like Wild Wild West to me is like James Bond, but in the West.
Right.
Right.
You know, like these cool gadgets and these cool missions that he's on and these people that he's up against. And the whole idea of it is so much fun. And I was excited, you know, when the show was announced. I was a little bit like on Will Smith being the lead because I think the main reason he was chosen is because he was so big back in the day.
Yeah.
But I don't feel like he was at all the proper choice for, or even Kevin Kline, because to me the whole tone of it felt a little too goofy.
Right.
And so, yeah, I mean, and I've seen it. I've watched it multiple times. There's parts of it that are fun, but boy, I really wish they had stuck to more to the tone of like the show, like the actual intrigue and the suspense and the people that are betraying them and the, you know, women that are trying to stab them in the back and that sort of. I remember, you know, how they would have a scene and then they would freeze the scene and they'd put it up in the picture. Do you guys remember that when they would do that?
I never saw the show, but now.
Oh my gosh! So they had like this cartoon. So you know how a comic book looks with frames
Yeah.
on a page. So they would show a portion of the movie and then they would freeze on a certain point in this scene. And then they would take that frozen scene and they'd put it up in one panel of the comic book.
Cool.
And then the next one, then they'd put it up in another panel. So by the end, you see all these different scenes
That is
depicted.
awesome.
It was
Yeah.
it was interesting. And I thought it was
more.
I thought it was really cool. And
So would it be more like a James Bond or like a Mission Impossible type vibe kind of?
yes, exactly. Because they were like, I can't remember. Was he like what type of agent was he, Dee? Do you remember? Was he like a Secret Service or was he just some type of government?
You talking about Kevin Kline? You talking about which character?
No, the main character, Will Smith. He worked for the government, I thought.
Yeah, I remember him being a government agent. There was a scene where he ended up, I think he ends up going to the White House and he's told about his assignment. And then he gets on his horse and then he has this big, what is it? Not a unicycle, but basically it's this weird bicycle that has like a massive tire and they drive away down the street.
Penny farthing.
What's that?
But I remember, he was basically like a government agent from what I remember.
Yeah.
The bike's called a penny farthing.
Penny farthing. Okay.
Penny farthing.
Was it you, Simon? I might have just read it somewhere, but it's like the director, or the producer maybe, was just like demanded this giant spider, and he wanted it in this other movie, and they were like, you're gonna ruin the movie. He's like, it's gonna make the movie amazing, and he wouldn't give up.
It was
I think we've
in
talked
the
about
documentary "The Death of Superman Lives" by the late great John Schnapp. Kevin Smith was telling the story. He was the writer on the Superman Lives.
Yeah.
And apparently John Peters wanted a giant metal spider. He's like, no, man, that fucking this won't work. And then later he was watching Wild Wild West and it's like, oh, fuck, John Peters finally got his fucking metal spider.
Yeah, that's
right.
that was what you were. Okay,
He's
all
like,
right.
this idea is genius. And it bombed the movie that it finally got it. But yeah, the whole tone of it too, though. I think that does sound like it'd be cool with the... Dude, that movie felt like Invincible too, because it was after Independence Day and Men in Black, and you're like, Will Smith can't lose. It's gonna be the movie of the year.
He definitely lost on this one. It just didn't.
He missed the three.
Salma Hayek was in it. I remember her. What's that?
He actually skipped the Matrix to do this.
Oh my!
Would have been 3 for 3 if he had picked the Matrix. But
yeah.
He's probably
Kenneth Branagh was in it too.
Yep, that's right, because he was the one that ended up in Spider.
Yeah, and for the longest, I had no idea what Kenneth Branagh actually looked like because I assumed that he had like dark hair and some kind of beard, mustache, or whatever.
No.
And so when I finally saw him in, what was it, Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets?
Yeah.
Like, is that what he actually looks like? It threw me off so bad.
Of
course, knowing that he's an actor,
the Oscars, he's got a huge beard.
Introduction. So,
which Oscars?
This latest Oscars. Kenneth Branagh has a huge beard.
They haven't had the Oscars yet.
Or not the Oscars.
Oh,
SAG,
the ones over there in UK.
BAFTA?
The BAFTA.
BAFTAs, yes.
BAFTA. So, have you ever seen him in Dead Again?
Me?
Kenneth Branagh. Either one of y'all. Kenneth Branagh.
No.
And his used to be wife Emma. What's her name? Emma Thompson.
Oh, they were married.
Yeah, for a brief bit until I think he hooked up with Helena Bonham Carter. Maybe
he philandered.
Yeah,
really?
He philandered. Yes. Oh, yes.
Wait, did she philander on Tim Burton?
I don't know. I don't remember that. I don't know that she was with Tim Burton. I don't remember the order of things. Anyway, whatever. They were in this movie called Dead Again. I always loved this movie.
Oh,
have you ever seen it? It's about reincarnation.
No, I haven't. Let me see. Let me make sure I'm correct. I could be wrong. Okay, so what's crazy is I haven't seen it, but when I used to work at, I think one of my first library jobs at my university, they had a bunch of VHSs in the back that they were getting rid of, and one of them was Dead Again. So I said I would take it home and take it with me. But I didn't have my VHS player with me. I had it at my house, home, basically where I would go back to whenever I would go on breaks. But I forgot to take it with me, so I still have the copy. But
you need to watch it. I have just, I don't know. It holds a special place in my heart because I just loved. It's this mystery.
Yeah.
Bit of a romancy stuff, but it's like this mystery. This girl is trying to figure out why she's seeing these things, and it's a whole. It's just really cool. I loved it. And
I remember looking on the back and the concept, and I was like, "Oh, this looks interesting." So that's why I took it. I kind of because of the VHS piece. That's what.
And they're both so young because I think it was early '90s maybe when it came out. Anyway. So Phil says there are no great movies that could be remade. They always, that's why we're not talking about great movies, because they do tend to, very often, it seems like they tend to take great movies when they remake them and.
Also, what are you talking about? Weird Science was a fucking masterpiece.
Oh, I hate that. Oh my gosh. Oh, we talked about that movie during one of our streams. So he was Secret Service. Sorry. Yeah, Secret Service. Okay. Take care, Playing Down Under. Have a good one. Yeah. Keanu Reeves could redo this, right? You mean no. Not in Wild Wild West. If she's talking about Wild Wild West, I hope not. I don't think so. Different timeline, Will Smith.
Well.
Okay. What about Raising Arizona? Does it really need Nick Cage? Yes. Yes, it does. Because that movie is excellent, and a lot of it is because of Nick Cage. Yeah, Tim Burton was after. Okay, that's kind of what I thought. All British actors have webbed feet. Okay.
Interesting.
Monster in the Closet, 86 remake. Okay, I don't remember if I saw. Yeah, oh my gosh, that movie was so bad.
Was it?
Oh,
was it really?
I hate
what made it bad, Sam?
I'll be right back.
The whole thing. It was terrible. So I rewatched it for a discussion with Sound Booth Theater, and I remember I had liked it way back when I was a kid. And then I rewatched it, and it was just so goofy. It was just the whole concept. It was maybe I'll repurpose our live stream discussion and put it on my channel as a review of the film. Of course, the guys like Ahmed and Jeff, they liked it, or especially Jeff. But I don't know. I parted ways with them on the. I just hated it. I hated it.
What movie was this?
Weird Science.
Oh, I loved it.
I enjoy Weird Science.
Okay, I don't know. Just definitely not for me. All right, so
It's wish fulfillment for a teenage boy, so
it is, but I don't know. It is.
Sorry, the way
We broke it.
face looked, I can't.
It's just I don't know. I just was rolling my eyes the whole time. It was just I couldn't. I get whatever. It went after the demographic it was going after. I guess it appealed to that. I don't know. And I'm someone who likes a lot of like guy type of movies, but yeah, that one did not work for me at all. It's terrible. Okay, so it's Simon's turn, but should we wait for Colin? I feel like we should wait for Colin.
we should. I'm just checking on Killer Brock, see what she looks like now. She's still pretty hot.
Oh, honestly don't know what she looks like now. I just remember she used to be married to Steven Seagal. That's
I'll
all I
share my
remember.
screen.
Sin, I am behind on reviews, but I can't wait to hear what you have to say about Dune Part 2.
Oh, I put my review up.
Yeah, no, I'm saying I got to check. I'm saying behind on
Oh,
like
you're gonna check it.
watching
Yeah. So
everyone's stuff. I'm trying to like compile and go down.
I
the
made
list.
I made a mistake in the review, which I didn't realize was cleared up, and I did pin a comment. So when I was referring to Austin Butler, and I was confused as to why in some scenes he looked bone white outside, and everybody looked that way, and I thought he was on the same planet that Paul Atreides and all those other people were on. I was good, and I was wrong. They were on Giddy Prime, I think.
Yeah,
And I just totally forgot that there was multiple planets. So
right.
that's a mistake. And I have since found out some stuff about the adaptation that we did a roundtable discussion about it last week. And there's some people that, I mean, overall, most people seem to really enjoy it. But there's some people that are kind of upset about some pretty significant changes that were made to the storyline. But me being someone who's never read the books, I go into it as a novice and just enjoyed the experience for what it was.
Right.
So you might have heard a kitty because I think Colin has a cat, doesn't he? Yes, it was a fun show, Deleted. And Polly was able to pop in and talk to us for a bit. Kelly LeBrock soda. I bet she did.
Absolutely.
So, Dee, are you going to do a full-on review for Dune?
I need to. I need to. If I can just continue to keep my head above water, there's a lot of reviews I would like to do. I need to have like 2 straight. I almost don't even want to say 2 weeks. I feel like I need a month to just like, okay, just look at however many hours I need, and then just work through and just do really short, concise stuff and just knock everything out. It's mainly because of work, but it's also because of Sundance, because I saw so many films there. So.
Oh yes, that's right. Were you there the whole time?
It's 2 weeks. So I was there for like kind of like I was there on the first day to like that Monday and going into the next second. So technically I was kind of there a little bit into the second week, but no, not like the entire duration. No.
Oh, okay. All right. That was a cool experience for you.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. If I could find a way to just surmise my thoughts as far as the experience, and then just quick little, I mean, seriously, like I wouldn't be doing like the super long reviews for individual stuff. It would just be general ranking of the stuff I saw. And then as some of these films come out, just kind of maybe a slightly expanded review. But
review. Yeah. How many films did you see?
Like 18.
Oh, how many films per day?
Okay, so I saw some. So some I saw there, and then there were a few I saw online, but I saw like at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I want to say at least 8. I think I saw while I was there. I'd have to like look at my schedule.
Oh,
But yeah,
okay.
yeah. But
So
I think it was like half and half.
okay, so like the ones you saw online, was it like where you were staying when you were there, or once you got back home you watched?
Some, but then I also when I went back home.
Oh, okay. Okay. I've only ever done the, the online watching. This year I decided not to.
Mhm.
But there's something that I saw that they have a movie that's based on a book I actually read several years ago,
Mhm.
handling the undead
Oh yeah, I
or
saw that.
handling the whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I've seen some rankings of it or ratings of it that don't look so, which is, okay.
Right.
But I'm curious to watch it because I read the book.
Okay. Cool.
I don't know. I don't know if I should waste my time or not. Okay, we'll get to the comments and then we'll jump into Simon's next one. Gideon Prime is the Harkonnen planet, and the Black Sun is just a cool visual idea. Like, yeah, it was a weird visual effect.
Oh, yeah, I thought it was cool.
No, I read an interview with Denny because I just saw Dune 2 and I've been thinking about it. And also, sorry, real quick aside, that was a kitty when I left. He was trapped in my room, so let him out.
Okay, someone did hear. Oh, okay. So, Syfax. So you're one of the people that joins the movie. Okay, so I'm coming to California. I'm going to be there next week, and I was going to try to meet up with your movie group. Chris has invited me. Polly has invited me. So I'm going to try to make contact with them and figure out maybe if I could join the movie group. I think Polly said he's going to be away part of the time, so I might try to get in contact with you somehow and just see like what's on the agenda. I'm at the mercy of my brother's vehicle though, so because I won't have a car, but we'll see. Okay, sorry for that side
No,
chat.
Cool. I was want to
Terry,
say, can I say,
Yeah.
I saw an interview with Denis Villeneuve talking about that the Black Sun and the Harkonnen
Yeah.
planet, and he said he liked the idea that it was like not just a visual effect, but actually like the planet. It was some weird sun that instead of making color, it absorbed color, so their whole planet actually was like that, and that was part of
Okay.
the reason they're like kind of creepy, weird people because he liked the idea of how the environment affects people, where like how Dune, the sandy, affects the people and all the water, and so like the idea that this black color absorbing sun made the Harkonnens these kind of like creepy people.
It was a cool effect.
You know,
It was really cool. It's just in my review, I just for whatever reason was confused because I was like, well, I'm confused because the people that lived in the desert, they didn't look like that, or like the Atreides family, they didn't look like that. But it was a totally different planet. So
Right.
whatever, brain fart. Terry Pratchett movies miniseries. You know, I recently watched The Hogfather for a Sound Booth Theater discussion, and that was fun. But I could see where maybe remakes would do it justice. Thursdays at Yard House in Burbank, AMC 16. Okay, the Burbank is the airport that I fly into. It's about a 35-40 minute drive away from my brother's. So he said that he might join me as well. So I don't know. We'll see. I'll touch base.
Yay.
Okay, Simon. Are you ready? Is it ready?
Sorry, I'm muted. Colin, is
Okay.
that a map of Westeros behind you?
Yep. I have
So I was-
three.
I was squinting like, what the fuck is that?
Oh,
I got 3 in my room actually because I bought for Christmas. I got for Christmas the Lands of Ice and Fire because that one and the other one show like the whole everything. Actually, the one right here in front of me is the best one. It shows
Oh,
everything.
yeah, that one.
It's the best one. Wait, that's the just Westeros one. And this one is the whole, like, that's the far east side, Orthos.
And the tissues, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, all my stuff.
I was just thinking about Game of Thrones today and how are you okay, Levi? Oh, okay, hold on. You okay? Sorry, my little dog, he's having a moment. he has these little I can't remember what it's called. He gets something with his ear, and so he has these moments where he feels really, really, really dizzy, and he doesn't know what to do. So
Aw.
yeah, I think he's okay now.
Inner ear.
And he gets real clingy. He's like all up against me like this. Okay, all right. Okay, it's okay. All right. Are you ready, Simon? For us to-
I'm ready.
Okay, I was just confused. Okay, here we go.
Okay, so my last pick is Clive Barker's Nightbreed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this movie, there's so much to love about this movie. It has amazing special effects. It has oh shit, what's his name? Cronenberg as the bad guy. And yeah, but the thing is, it's beset with pacing issues. It really doesn't know what to
pacing.
do. Yeah, pacing issues. Um,
I thought you were going to talk about the effects.
no, the effects are flawless. The effects are really, really good. The problem is that the story just kind of peters out. It really is. It's a metaphor for find family and sort of outcast in society. And at the end, it tries to do like a Stonewall kind of thing, but it just kind of falls flat because it isn't really related to anything else that's happened in the movie. But so yeah, if this movie was related or remade, then it could be even more relevant now than it was back then.
Was this based on a story, a short story?
Yeah, Clive
or-
Barker's Cabal.
Clive Barker's. Okay. All right.
Who's Clive Barker?
Are you serious,
Hellraiser.
Colin?
I
Yeah.
forget. I don't remember.
Hellraiser.
Hellraiser?
He wrote
Hellraiser.
yeah.
Yes.
Oh, Clive Barker. Well, I was like, I know
Fucking
the name.
stoner.
I was like, I know the name, but I can't remember
Hellraiser.
any movies.
Hellraiser. Hellraiser.
Hellraiser. No, I thought you said like the Spanish word for razor, like the razor,
Oh.
razor. And I was like,
Yeah,
Hellraiser. Hellraiser. Hellraiser.
I don't fucking speak Spanish. What are you talking about?
Clive Barker.
Okay, so was this an 80s movie or 90s?
I thought it was
1990.
80. Oh, it was
Yeah.
1990, right on the edge. I thought it was 80 something, like late 80s.
That picture I like that
I
picture.
almost thought when I saw the picture, I almost thought you were talking about Near Dark, and I was thinking, no way. Yeah, Nightbreed.
Is it like take place on Earth?
Yeah, it's
It's like a fantasy.
there's this guy,
Weird.
yeah, Clive Boone, who's this guy, and he is going to a psychiatrist, who's David Cronenberg over here, and Cronenberg convinces him that he is responsible for all these killings that have been happening around town, but it's actually his psychiatrist that's responsible. So he sort of kind of gets lost and goes trying to find himself in the cemetery and gets bitten by one of the Nightbreed who live underneath the cemetery.
Mm.
It's their like sanctuary. And whoa, shit. Sorry, Slack just popped up randomly. But yeah, that's the plot of the movie.
I feel like
And it's great apart from the pacing. It just kind of peters out at the end, doesn't really know what to do.
Did you read the story that it was based
I did
on?
not. No.
Because I wonder if the story suffers from the same issues. So
I'm not sure.
I remember watching this a long time ago, and then they also play it on Pluto TV. So I have it playing sometimes, and I'll catch bits and pieces of it.
oh my god. Man, I kind of
Have you seen this one, D?
Man, I like the practical effects.
Is D frozen? No, he's not.
No.
He's moving.
Sorry, I'm here.
Okay.
No,
Okay.
I was, no,
just
I'm actually
sitting
not
there.
familiar with this one.
Oh my god.
You what? Sorry.
I said no, I'm actually not familiar with this one.
Oh, okay. Had you even
Yeah.
heard of it?
No.
Oh,
Nightbreed.
I love it. It holds a like special place in my heart, but it is flawed.
Man.
Yeah,
I wish
the
I'd seen
visuals.
that. in the
Oh, wait a minute. That last
striking a memory, huh?
No. Because I made like a collage of, it was like a Twitter post I made, and I was like different, what's the most interesting mask from like a horror movie or something adjacent. And that was one of the pictures I chose, but I found it.
Okay.
I didn't realize what it was attached to. I mean, I probably saw the name, but didn't think anything about it. So yeah, so actually I do have a connection. I just need to watch it.
Okay. That one looks very it was definitely had a lot of crazy practical effects to it.
Mhm.
Yeah. It did. I had forgotten what the setup was. I had forgotten that he got bitten, and that's why he was like having these changes or something was happening to him.
Yeah.
Yeah, it might be worth a rewatch too at some point.
Mhm.
Okay. That face. Was that the killer? Was that the psychiatrist in that mask, or is that another creature?
Yeah, that was David Cronenberg.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
All right.
Oh boy.
Yeah, the makeup's fantastic. It's just kind of
Yeah,
bad at the end.
I love that makeup, those costumes.
Yeah, I remember being very, like, really crazy effects and
Unnerved.
stuff.
It's just so much better than CG. But when it's like that, like it's an alien or a monster, like, because it's some unnerving about when it's like real practical.
When it looks real practical, yeah. So, but sometimes some practical effects are just. Sometimes it just doesn't work for me because it's just like it's too much, and I almost wish that they had CG that they could kind of smooth out some parts.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Make it look a little cleaner.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Look at your mom, Colin.
No.
No. Yeah, there were some really crazy designs, character designs.
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah, Clive Barker Library recommend it, even though it's flawed, and it should be remade.
Should be remade.
Yeah.
All right.
Everything's good apart from the final third.
Oh. The downside is that a terrible last part of a movie can ruin an entire movie.
Exactly.
So. Okay. All right. Okay, Colin.
All
You're
right.
up.
Pulling up the poster so you can click on. Do I have to click share again?
Do you have no? Just it looks like it's up and it's ready. I can go ahead and just put it.
Maybe this is an easy one or an obvious one.
Okay. All right. Here we go. I'm getting ready to add it. Oh, episode 1.
Wow.
I would even say
that's coming back to the big screen. Did you know
It
that?
is actually, yeah.
I would even say the whole trilogy. And you know what really got me? Like I said, I was at first associating directors with this. I just saw Dune 2, and I want. I don't really want.
You want him to make these?
Yeah, I want Denis Villeneuve to redo the original trilogy and make it dark, make it like his movies, like dark and real, way less CG, moody and adult, and like thinking, and show the dark, like the Paul is like similar to Anakin, like this. He starts heroic and he becomes evil by the end.
Well, that's because
Spoilers.
Star Wars is inspired by Dune.
Right, for sure.
Yeah,
and it just after seeing, I love Dune and Dune 2, and I always, before these movies came out, the prequels, like I really wanted to see the prequel because like that scene in the first movie where he was like, "Oh, you helped our father during the Clone Wars, and we need you again." And Obi-Wan's, "Your father was the great pilot." And you're like, God, I want to see Obi-Wan and Anakin in the Clone Wars and how Anakin became evil. And I feel like these were just like the kids' version of that story. And
yeah, it definitely
try spinning. That seems like a neat trick.
Yeah. And I would love to see a real dark adult version of that whole original story of Anakin and the Clone Wars. And maybe just seeing Dune and Dune 2 and how good he did, this epic sci-fi, and how like this story could have been great, and I wanted it to be great. And I know they're never going to remake it because it's too big of a franchise. Whatever.
Yeah, for sure.
That's one that I like really wish that it had been a great film that we could be left with instead of something that I like probably never watch again. Like I just think they missed the mark. I liked it a lot when it came out and I was 14 and I didn't really know much better. But at this point, I just feel like all the prequels just aren't really worth it, and it was kind of a missed opportunity, a wasted opportunity. And I probably never will, but I would love to see like a serious, dark, the Denis Villeneuve version of Anakin in the Clone Wars. So, and once I thought that, I was like, oh yeah, I want to keep thinking about it. So I just thought.
Oh, so it was you after you saw okay. So
after I saw Dune
that
2
sparked.
yesterday.
Okay.
Yeah, I hadn't even finished all my choices till today. So.
You know the problem that I have with Denis' version of Dune, it's beautiful, and the score I still have that score in my brain. It will not leave. But I started watching the miniseries today.
Really?
A few minutes into the
James McAvoy.
Well, I haven't seen him yet. If he's in here, I don't know.
Is he in here? Children of Dune?
Yeah, the sci-fi, the one came out in 2000, and then there was Children of Dune after that, I think.
He's the main character, but maybe he's not in it right at the beginning.
Is he in the Children of Dune, maybe, McAvoy?
He plays Paul's son, so he's kind of like...
Okay, so he would be later.
He's in Children.
I haven't gotten that far. But the issue that I have with Denis, the way he did it, for all its gorgeousness, I feel very detached from the characters.
Yeah.
I don't feel emotionally connected to them. And someone mentioned that the source material, the books, you don't necessarily feel this way about these characters. And another person used the word clinical to describe Denis' work on the movies. And that's probably why it feels very cold and clinical. It's very, very good, the way it's done, but that character attachment is just not there for me. And Paulie recently rewatched it, and he was saying, it's gorgeous. I love it. I just don't care about the characters. It's weird. It's really weird.
I think it's a fair point, and I love the movies, but I would say it's not like their strongest feature is. And
I'm not sure why he couldn't pull that off, or if he didn't want to. Maybe that was intentional. I don't know. But anyway, that was just kind of a side point. I wouldn't mind seeing what he could do with Star Wars. I mean, I certainly think he could do better than what we ended up with.
Yeah. You think Denis Villeneuve will do a better job than George Lucas?
Oh, yes. George Lucas. Yeah, it would be awesome. It would be great. Right. It would have to take some points from the great review. What's his name? Red Letter Media, and his review.
Mr. Plinkett.
Mr. Plinkett's review.
What I was trying to say, what I started saying was, when I was watching the miniseries, I'm feeling more attachment with the characters. So it's definitely definitely the way Denis that might just be a creative choice he's made. I don't know.
All his films have they're cold in a sense. I feel like that there's a certain cold detachment, but in a way for me it kind of works because I don't know how to. It's like taking it all in, kind of more as an observer than getting super involved with the characters. But it's fair. I mean, it work for it doesn't work for everyone. It's not always the best because it is. I don't know.
It's weird because I know he's a good director. I haven't hated anything of his I've watched, but that's just something that's definitely obvious for me with Dune. I think this is a good idea for a potential topic.
Oh, a lot of movies.
Movies where the third act killed an otherwise good movie. There's plenty of those to choose from.
Absolutely. And there's already one that you and I have discussed ad nauseum that I'm really thinking.
Which one? Remind me, because we've talked about plenty that rubbed us wrong.
I would say it was a particular horror movie from not that long.
A recent. Oh, I'm sorry, D. You are roboting like crazy.
Robot.
Yeah, you are roboting. Is it a recent horror movie?
Right? Yeah, very recent.
I know which one you're talking about. Okay. Episode. Well, It might be a masterpiece compared to some of the stuff today, for sure. Don't forget that Disney owns Star Wars. Yeah, I know. Okay, kind of family friendly. That they are family friendly. I would like them to be darker. It wasn't clinical. You just left too much out. Johnny's dating.
So, Colin, you would remake episode 1 over episode 8?
I mean, honestly, to me, the reason I mentioned episode 1s through 3 is I don't even care about 7, 8, and 9. I don't care if I can just forget they exist and they can never even try to remake them. You know, they're not essential at all.
I don't count them. They're not canon to me.
Yeah, like it's not even worth trying over. And I do like the first half of Force Awakens. Like, but I just think, yeah, you can just write those off. That was what as a Star Wars fan, I'd always wanted to see the Clone Wars and Anakin's turn. You know, it's like it's built up, it's mysterious. And then I just feel like after the prequels, I don't care at all. Like, and I still remember though, and I still think it would be cool if the prequels were just as good as the classic trilogy. That would be really cool.
I feel like the animated show gave us what we were missing in the live action, the Clone Wars animated show.
More so than the movie.
For sure. Exactly.
Yeah, I've heard great things about it.
Oh, it's really good. I used to really enjoy watching that. Okay, bye, deleted. See you later.
Yeah.
Okay, D, you're up. You're number 3.
All right.
Okay. Oh.
Ooh,
I remember how much this thing got excoriated when it came out. Wow.
Yes. It had so much hype and was in the works for so long.
Yeah.
What in the world went wrong with this?
Well, I think number one is the fact that it's not even a direct adaptation of Stephen King's original novels. It is a sequel to the franchise. Like the series is a sequel to all of that. And it just borrows a bunch of elements from a lot of the novels, including the first and the third. And and all that aside, you know, maybe not because I wouldn't say I completely knew that going in, but as someone who knew what the Dark Tower was, and not knowing anything about the characters outside of like things here and there, I felt like I walked in knowing nothing and I walked out of it knowing nothing. It was just like there was no exploration of the world, no world building, it just everything felt so bland and so generic, no explanations. And then it was like a very short runtime. I don't know if it was an hour and 30 minutes, but it was not nearly long enough to establish anything about what was going on. And you know, of course I like Idris Elba and Matthew McConaughey, cool, but it didn't feel like whatever it's supposed to be as far as this very unique, you know, partly supernatural world with all this lore and all that. It felt like none of that. It just felt like I was watching something incredibly generic and bland and just, you know, the typical maybe action adventure fantasy-ish type scene. That's all it felt like. It was nothing special or stand out about it. And I was just like, that's the case, then why waste the time?
Right. I remember the hype about it and the huge disappointment. And I'd never read the books. I heard the books were really, really good, but was never really interested to read them. But I was interested to watch the movie. And then I was hearing how god awful it was. And I saw little bits and pieces of it and just was never interested to finish.
Yeah.
So
now, what I will say is that there's been talks. I don't know if it's been like absolutely confirmed or it's just being tossed around, but there's a talk about Mike Flanagan possibly creating a series based around it. Ooh. And because he's done such a great job with Dr. Sleep and then Gerald's Game, and because he kind of has his own link with adapting Stephen King's work with those two films, I would be really intrigued to see what he does with it because I like his perspective of horror, and I granted, I know the Dark Tower isn't just horror, but I don't know, he just seems to have a certain kind of touch when it comes to adapting his stories, and I would just like to see that incorporated, even if it's not just a horror piece. But yeah, I've really enjoyed Mike Flanagan's stuff so far.
Right? I don't think there's any of his stuff I have watched and absolutely hated. Now, Oculus is not my favorite. That's probably my least favorite of his
Okay.
stuff. Yeah. But Mike Flanagan, he is a master at creating great story, like in the form of these limited series that we've been given. I would love to see what he could do with something like this, for sure.
Yeah, I was gonna say I just started watching my with my one of my friends. We've been trying to watch this for forever, and we were both always so busy we didn't have time. But we finally started watching The Haunting of Hill House.
Oh
man, it is an experience. That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay, I've heard it's really, really good though. I've heard some people it's like that's the best one ever, but so far Midnight Mass is my favorite, but I've only seen 2.
That's what I was gonna say. Like I'm kind of glad I'm watching it this way. What was it? It's the same thing that I'm probably gonna do with True Detective, where people are saying the first season was so good that all the rest just kind of pale in comparison. So I'm probably just gonna watch backwards. Just watch the current ones and then watch up to the first season.
Go back to that's an interesting idea because it doesn't matter really. You can watch them in any order. I started watching the 4th one and I think I'm only 1 episode in. Yeah. And I enjoyed all the other seasons, but season 1 was the best, and then after that, season 3 was the next best. So, okay.
Yeah, I heard. I'm guessing the second one already had its own issues, but it probably didn't help that it came after season 1 being so
after
good.
The excellence of season 1. I didn't mind the second season, but then when the 3rd one came around, I could tell, this is definitely better than the second one. Just the way the story was told and the characters and stuff. So, okay, that's a good choice. I wholeheartedly agree with that choice, completely. Okay. I think I'm all caught up with comments, so I'm going to go ahead and move on to my next one.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, I should have known. Yes. I don't know why it did not click.
It didn't compute. That's why I asked you, like, what was the genre of this film? And because I was like, oh my gosh, if he's going to say sci-fi action, I might need to tell him. Yeah, Terminator Dark Fate was a complete lost opportunity, you guys. I'm still angry about that whole experience.
Yep.
Thank you, Lady V. I think I nailed it too.
There is no fate but what we remake for ourselves.
Oh gosh. Well, I think we need to make another one. This stupid movie, I went into it with high hopes because Arnold and Linda were back together again. And I knew James Cameron was involved to some degree, but then James Cameron comes out and he lies to everybody at San Diego Comic-Con. I remember I did a video about his announcement, a video for this channel, because I was so excited. And I mean, when I watched that video, well, it's been years since I've seen that video, but if you ever watch that video, you will see how excited I was. So freaking excited because he's like, Edward Furlong is coming back. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And I was thinking, we are going to see their life after the events of Terminator 2 and any sort of conflicts or whatever that's happening again. And it's going to be excellent. It's good. And James Cameron, he's got his fingers involved and oh my goodness. And then I watched the doggone thing and I felt like I was storming out of the theater. I remember that one of the theater managers had told me he felt like it was better than he said something like, it was better than he thought it was going to be. So I was like, okay. And I had been hearing positive talk, because it does have a high-ish score by the, critics on Rotten Tomatoes and the audience score and everything. Mm-hmm. And I remember walking out and I see the manager who'd been telling me this. He's in the concessions. I think I've told you guys this story. He's at the concessions and I'm walking out and he catches my eye and I'm just like, I was so upset. And but I come home and I actually gave it a not scathing, I indicated that I wasn't super thrilled with it, but it's like the more time has gone by from that review, I was a little bit more restrained. Mm-hmm. This came out in 2017, so I didn't do. Did I do? This was 2019. Sorry, this was 2019, right?
I was gonna say it's a little sooner, but yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I was a little bit more reserved in my reviews. So if the sin today, you know, because I'm more settled now into the way I feel about stuff and expressing it. I was trying to be all polished and professional back then.
Mhm.
I don't do that anymore.
Mhm.
I'm not scripted. Yeah, this was terrible. This was just like a rehash of Terminator 2 with a little bit of elements of Terminator 1. They just changed the genders. The
Which
John
is-
Connor was now this supposedly tough chick, and when she comes out with the cornrows,
I'm not getting over it. I'm not getting over it.
I was like, I can't. And she's supposed to be so tough, and then the age wasn't even right either. The age didn't even match. Like she still looked the same age as
With
she was
cornrows.
supposed to be in the future with cornrows as she was in the present. And
It still
Oh
would
my
have been
gosh.
ridiculous, but at least age the character, so it at least seems whatever semi-realistic to whatever narrative you're trying to run with. But when they did that, I was like, oh, y'all really don't care. Okay.
no, they absolutely did. And then they turned Sarah Connor. Now I could get Sarah Connor being all, because you know Sarah Connor between 1 and 2.
Yeah.
She had this drastic character change
Mhm.
and completely understandable. Then by this movie, it's like, well, okay, I could see that why she's this, you know, alcoholic, whatever, angry person. But then she starts, you know, foaming at the mouth about, oh, you're just like a baby factory or something, like kind of this stupid narrative. Oh, you're just a womb, you know. It's like, why was that even put in here? I don't know. That just rubbed me wrong. The whole thing rubbed me wrong. The special effects were great and everything, but it was just rinse repeat of Terminator 1 and 2.
Yeah.
And I'm still pissed about it, y'all.
Yeah.
I'm still very angry about it because this movie, like if James Cameron had made this movie instead of investing so much freaking time and energy and money into Avatar, I know
agree.
you love Avatar. I know he could have come up with something so good.
Yeah.
This is what I want from James Cameron. I don't want stupid Pandora and the blue people, I just don't. And it might be visually beautiful, but it does not appeal to. Oh well, that's me, okay. And Avatar is obviously very popular with people, but I wish this movie had never been made.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about
Colin,
it.
don't you dare say yeah.
She's coming. She's coming to my con. I think I mentioned this already that Linda Hamilton's coming to my con, and I'm not going to talk to her. I doubt I'll say anything to her. I'm not brave enough to get up and ask questions unless I'm doing it on behalf of somebody else. But
You should.
Yes.
I don't know what to say. It's not her fault. The movie was shit. It's not her fault. You know, and I love Linda Hamilton. I don't have anything against her. You know, I don't have anything against Arnold. But it's just, oh my gosh,
This movie made your heart go nyang.
yeah, it did. It really did. It's still going. Nyang. It really is. I am so angry about it still. If you can't tell, I'm still angry about this movie. What a lost opportunity.
Surprisingly, it almost, and it's still a toss up, and maybe I'll probably feel differently about it when I go back and watch it, because I thought Genesis was a mess, but at least in
it
what
was
I
more
didn't
enjoyable.
Really, yeah, I was gonna say at least what I didn't really wasn't the biggest fan of with Genesis, they at least did something different. Like they tried to kind of flip it around and like, okay,
right,
let's go with this different timeline, whatever it is. It's just that I wish I kind of knew as soon as they didn't lean into like the hard R part of it, you know, and then just kind of took the PG there. I was like, eh. And then just some of the stuff was kind of goofy, and then I didn't like the marketing gave certain things away.
Yeah.
But at least they, like I said, I can appreciate them going for something different. But this was just like, what's the point? And then for the final reveal of, you know, of the saving the world piece to be that, I'm just like,
oh gosh,
no, no.
I think the reason for all these shitty movies is ultimately the Me Too movement and Weinstein. Where
maybe
basically because everyone got caught, and then the virtue became like a
virtue
selling
signaling
point
and stuff. Yeah.
No, having virtue, being a good person, became a sort of personal branding exercise for everyone.
Oh, right.
Because they didn't want to be,
I see.
you know,
yeah. I mean, there's probably something to that. honestly.
And that's what it's all about. That's why we get such virtue signaling movies.
Which no.
I
I just feel like if I wanted to watch if I wanted to get that in my sense of entertainment, and not to say that there can't be lessons or whatever. I mean, there's always something to take away from any movie, regardless of genre. But for the type of dumbing down that they do with a lot of these films and the subliminals and all that, I could go watch Barney, Sesame Street, watch something on PBS because it just feels like ABC 1, 2, 3. Tell me how to get to Sesame Street. Like,
yeah.
it's very rudimentary stuff. And I'm like, we're adults, please.
The difference between old movies and new movies is that old movies were what's the word? Aristotelian, in that they sort of presented the thing and asked you what you thought.
Mhm.
Whereas the new ones are didactic. They tell you what to think.
Tell you what you're supposed to think, and if you don't agree, you're a bad person.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't work.
Or especially if you don't agree with their take on these sorts of, narratives or whatever. So that's my last one. I will be forever angry about this. I would rather rewatch Genesis any day. I have not rewatched Dark Fate, not once.
I have
seen Genesis multiple times.
Yeah. At least Genesis has a school bus flipping.
It does have an interest. I wasn't crazy about Emilia Clarke not looking the part because she didn't look like she was a warrior.
No.
I wasn't super crazy about the casting of Kyle Reese,
No.
but I was willing to go with it.
Yeah.
Because I did like the twist on the story. I liked that. That
Same.
was interesting to me.
Same.
It's like, okay, you can shake it up a bit. So when this came along, Terminator Dark Fate, and I'm thinking, oh, wow, so much potential and promise. It's going to be like Halloween 2018, where it's an actually really decent follow-up. You're going to retcon everything else, and it's going to be a decent follow-up, and it was shit.
And that makes it worse because 2018 really was something. And they made it a point to ignore
completely throw all that.
I was gonna say ignoring everything else. They did a good job of kind of honoring that.
Well,
that original film, and then kind of taking it in a new direction. So they really could have done that with Terminator, but they were too concerned about shaping narratives, unfortunately.
Oh, it was so stupid.
Do you think it would have been better if Mackenzie Davis and Natalia Ray's roles were reversed?
No. For me, it had absolutely nothing to do with the race of the characters.
No, not being race. I mean, Mackenzie Davis is bigger.
Oh, you mean her being the savior?
Her being the savior, but being the sort of mousy kind of girl that Sarah Connor was, and then the sort of little short girl being the Terminator, I don't think that human augmented.
I know what you mean, like the protective, because she wasn't a full on Terminator.
Yeah.
She was like half and half. No, I don't think so, because it was the whole storyline. The whole storyline of it was stupid to me once it was revealed. So it wasn't necessarily the girls in the roles; it was just the girls and the story.
Yeah, kind of the bigger framework that it probably could have worked with something else. But and that's why I say, and I think people know that, especially with the strike and things like that. But I think there are people who still don't realize that how writing and screenplays, how that really impacts everything. It's like you can have a lot of really solid elements there, but if you're under your foundation for the story is just not what it needs to be, then it ruins everything.
Yeah. I don't.
Well, one of the things is they couldn't bring that referral back for more than a few minutes.
Because I was going to say, I was pretty sure saying that once that scene played out, that was already like like 2 strikes immediately.
Oh yeah, it absolutely was. I was really angry, especially because we'd been told he was coming back, and that was basically a lie. You want to get technical? I don't count a digital representation of John Connor as being Edward Furlong back in the flesh. I wanted to see what their life post T2 had turned into. And I could see him being like this grizzled, nasty looking slump of a guy. I wanted to see what they could do with that.
I agree.
And then, and they could have done something with it. And I I loved the effects of that scene. It was well done.
Oh,
the
it
way they
was.
did, the way with, but that's as far as it goes. And that pissed a lot of people off. And then we find out that was his idea. That was Cameron's idea.
Oh man.
To kill him off. What, like, it's like kill off. Okay, basically you're just taking a complete dump all over movies 1 and 2. That means nothing because John Connor, the savior, he's dead now. Now
Right.
we have to generate this. Oh, it's just. So yeah. All
That's
right.
what I'm saying.
can feel
And I
myself
actually
getting
forgot
super
about how that
agitated.
tied into the rest of it too.
Yeah, it was so it felt really disrespectful.
Yeah.
There was another movie franchise that did something that felt really disrespectful to. I'm sorry, what?
I want to ask you seriously. Do you really want Eddie Furlong back? Click the.
I see
share
what you're.
screen. Are you sure you want him in
Okay,
your movie?
okay, listen, Simon. He didn't look like that back in 2018, 2019.
Man,
No,
it's
that's the
not
reason.
looking,
That's like.
not looking good.
He didn't look like that. I know. He's put on quite a bit of weight. He has supposedly
He was a
kicked
meth addict.
his drug habit. But he's also in not good shape at all, obviously. But
I think even with but going with what you said, the idea of him being, far removed from the character we saw last time, that would have been, something compelling to see, and how that then would have tied into the rest of the story, because they could have done something, especially with him then seeing Arnold's character again. I can't think of the name of the model, but you know what I'm
the
talking
T800.
Yes, thank you.
CS Model 101 T800.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
like
it could have.
Nick
Sorry, go
Stahl
ahead.
in that movie instead.
I was really disappointed that that Edward couldn't come back, but he couldn't because he was a complete freaking mess with his life.
Mhm.
And so they couldn't. So Nick Stahl did, I guess, the best he could do. But and
No, I mean,
Terminator 3.
What do you think about Nick Stahl being in Dark Fate? So they didn't have to do just one scene.
Well, if he had been in Dark Fate as a grown-up John Connor, then the entire story would have been completely different.
Exactly.
And maybe I could have gone with it because we would have had a return of a John Connor that we sort of knew. Oh, sorry. I think Arturo has come home and Tifa's screaming at him because, she hates him. But yeah, I don't know. It's just such a missed opportunity. I could rant about it forever. I could just bitch and moan about it all the time. You guys know how much I hate it. I'm gonna look at the comments now.
I wish they had just done the only 3 Terminator movies, and the third one was somehow even better than 2, and it perfectly wrapped the story up. So when 3 ends, it's back to the start of 1.
So you know how Terminator 3 would have been so good is if James Cameron had done it.
Exactly. Just James Cameron does the third one and just make out the last one and make it epic and awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And
I agree. It would be tough. Would be tough to beat T2, and I don't know that it could come as good as T2, but if it came up to the level of T1,
right?
Yeah, it'd still be a good trilogy.
Do you know how excellent it would have been? Oh my gosh!
The only way you could do T3 better than T2 is if it was done in 3D and Arnold Schwarzenegger reached out from the screen and jerked the audience off.
No, here's what I'm saying. Here's what I'm saying. Is it T3, as I see it, it would be like a split movie where you're seeing, like Sin was saying, kind of the aftermath of T2 or maybe a few years after T2 ends. But then you're also seeing, like I always wanted to see, like the post-apocalyptic wasteland of the robots killing everyone, and they do it really good. Like they do it like that looked like in T2, and it really and then
like what we got in Salvation, which showed some good stuff too.
And then it kind of the storyline just works, and they both kind of are conflicting with each other somehow. But then by the end, they do what they have to, so that the end of the movie loops back to the first one, and it's like there, it's done. You can't. There's no more sequels. It's like a perfect time loop where it somehow works out. I don't know.
That would be cool.
I just wanted to see a really cool version of the end game.
getting to what you're talking about with the time loop, I wanted to address, did I watch Sarah Connor Chronicles? Yes, I did. And I don't remember if you guys have seen it, but at the very end, there's this, so there's been this thing like, how did John Connor survive to get, exit please, and take her barking butt with you. I know, but she is like screaming at you. Okay, see, now I lost my train of thought. What the heck was I talking about? What was I saying, y'all?
You're talking about the end of the
the end
series.
of Sarah Connor Chronicles. Like, people had like wondered, how did John Connor survive the whole bombing and everything to become this leader? How did this happen? And at the end of the Sarah Connor Chronicles, they attempt to answer this by something that happens at the very end that kind of ties a little bit into what you were talking about, Colin. But I loved the Sarah Connor Chronicles, and if you guys haven't seen it, I suggest you give it a try. I did not think that I would like it all that much, but oof, I love that show. And it was only 2 seasons long, unfortunately.
Yeah, the strike messed it up from what I remember.
Yes, that's exactly what happened. I was really, Tifa, give it a rest. I was really disappointed about that because that was one of my favorite shows. And
I'm telling you, if they manage to somehow like resurrect that now, it would be interesting to see.
Like with the same actors?
Yeah.
With Lena Headey again?
Right. I don't know if it could work, but it'll be interesting to see.
It would be interesting, and I would absolutely be down for watching it, y'all. I would, but now they're talking about they're going to make like a Terminator. They're rebooting it or something. Is it a series or? I don't want to see a rebooted Terminator. I don't want to see them try to redo the Terminator. I would rather see, and I think I was talking about this with you, Simon. You were asking me on the chat on the stream the other day or last night. I would rather see a spin-off, some type of spin-off of some other characters. I don't want to see Sarah Connor and Kyle Reese's story retold again. You can't do it any better than what we got.
And it's kind of the
Technically, the Terminator already rebooted in Terminator 2.
What's that?
Technically, the Terminator already rebooted in Terminator 2.
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean?
He rebooted at the end.
He rebooted at the end?
Yeah.
No, he died.
He got
at
that
the end.
like metal thing stabbed through him, twisted, and then he died.
Oh,
and then he saw him come back on.
Oh, Hardy Har. He's doing these crazy, terrible puns right now. These are like dad jokes, Simon. You know what I mean. Anyway,
You're too slow to get them. So
I know I am a little slow to get them sometimes. I'm distracted. I've got comments I'm trying to pay attention to, and then I'm trying to vent my fury about Terminator Dark Fate, and then I got a dog that's screaming at my son because she hates him. I'm very distracted. All
sorry
right.
to interrupted you.
And also, I was gonna say I see what time it is, so I have to slide on it.
It's getting on up there. We actually ended about 30 minutes longer than I expected that we did, but there were a lot of distractions. So sorry, I'm gonna go through these real quick. You ask her, does it ever hurt to roll? That'll destroy legacy of cat. Yeah, I guess I could.
Oh my!
But I don't think I'll do that because I actually really like Linda Hamilton.
I was gonna say she'll definitely remember you if you ask her that.
Especially if I'm wearing that shirt, Sarah Connor for president. Netflix is already.
How do you sleep at night?
Okay, bye, Sashi. I know I'm late.
I'm about to head out too. So
I think I'm okay. See you, Lady V. I'll probably tune into Deleted's live stream as well. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and end stream. Sorry, it feels like it's a little abrupt. Dee's got to take off, and I do need to get back to some work. Got to get an audiobook done before I take off for Kansas City. So thank you everyone for joining us, and we'll hopefully see you in about a month. Bye.
Hasta luego.